Hey guys, it's Elena and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we are going to be doing my first impressions on the BPerfect Cosmetics Carnival 3 Love Tahiti palette. Well, the whole entire collection actually, because I did purchase the whole entire collection. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I created this look, and I'm also going to tell you my thoughts and opinions on everything in the collection at the end. So first, I'm going to insert the swatches of the highlighters and the lip products. I'm not swatching the palette because there's way too many shades for me to do that. If you want to see the palette swatched, then go over to BPerfect Cosmetics Instagram page. They swatched all of the shades, and I'm sure you can find somebody else swatching them. I don't want to do that, so I'm not going to do it. I'm going to tell you the price rundown. So the whole entire collection with all 4 highlighters, the lashes, the mirror, and the 5 glosses and the palette is $210. So yes, I paid that because I have the whole collection. So yeah, super pricey, but I do feel like it's worth it, minus the glosses. You hear my thoughts on the glosses in the end, but I do think that it's worth it to buy the whole collection if you would use everything in the collection, so you save money that way. It looks like they bundled the glosses and they bundled the highlighters. They didn't have this before when it initially launched. So the bundle of all of the glosses is $59.80. This is all in USD, by the way, because I'm in America, so I put it to USD on their website. You can change it in the corner. The bundle of all of the Get Wet highlighters are $78, but singular, they're $22.95. The glosses singular are $14.95, and then the palette itself is $49.95. I do feel like the price is good for the palette because you're getting a whole bunch of shades and they do perform really well. And the lashes are $12.95 and the mirror is $24.95. So that's the pricing of everything. I really do hope that you enjoy this video. Please make sure that you comment down below if I didn't mention something that you wanted to know. I can either record another video or I can just answer your question in the comments. Depending on the question, of course, if I feel like I need to make a video on it, then I will. Also, definitely comment down below another type of color look that you would like to see. So maybe you want to see the oranges in this palette be used. Maybe you want to see a nude look with this palette, or a blue look, or a purple look. I did play with the purples already, like on my own time. So at the end of the video, I did talk about the purple shades and how I felt about them. So you'll see that in the end. But definitely let me know down below if you want to see any of these other shades used, because I will record more videos on this palette. If you haven't tried their formula, I highly recommend that you start with the first Carnival palette, which is this one right here. The little one. I did record a video on it, so if you're interested in seeing the video, I'll card it above. I would start with this one because, first of all, I believe it's still on sale right now, so I think I only paid like 34 bucks for this guy, which is insane because it's so freaking amazing. Like, it's just so damn good. I have the Carnival XL palette. I still need to record a look with that one. If you would be interested in seeing the Carnival XL versus this one, then definitely let me know as well, because it looks like there are similar shades in the 2 palettes, so I would love to see if that is the case. So I'll probably just record that on my own, even if you don't ask for it. But if you're interested in seeing that, then definitely subscribe if you haven't already. But anyway, let's get into this look. So sorry for like babbling a shit ton, but thank you guys for being here. Let's get into this look. All right, so I have my shadow shields on and we're ready to get started. So like I said, I did try to use the purples already, and I tried using them like 3 times. I was having a little difficult with some of the shades, but today I just want to use different shades. So I think I'm going to go for like a green look because I really have been loving greens lately, and I haven't really found any like really good greens. So I want to try out BPerfect Cosmetics greens. So that's what we're going to do today. And of course I primed my eyes with BPerfect Cosmetics Perfect Prime. Like I always say every time I mention it, I highly recommend this primer if you haven't tried it yet. It's amazing. All right, let's get started. So I'm gonna first dip into this Forest shade. This shade right here, it's called Forest. And I'm taking a JS6 brush. It's kind of like a fluffy packing brush. I think that this will be fine. I'm just packing out my brush and I'm not really getting any fallout. Super pigmented. That's the thing about BPerfect Cosmetics. If you've never tried any of their palettes, which I highly recommend that you check out the Carnival palette, the very first one, the little one, because that's the first one that like I played with, and I really enjoyed that palette. It's so pretty, and I believe it's still on sale, so highly recommend that you go check that out if it is. I do believe you can get it on Beauty Bay as well. I think that's where I got it anyway. I'm just packing this shade here and like getting the shape that I want. But this is a super pigmented shade. Alright, that looks pretty good to me. Most of the time I pack my shades first and then I go back and blend. That's the wonderful thing about BPerfect Cosmetics formula, is that after you put down a shade and you start blending, if you decide to put another shade and come back later to this shade, you can still blend it. I found with other palettes sometimes you can't do that, so that's why I mention it. Now I'm going to go in with Tropics, which is this lighter green shade right here. I'm going to use the same brush. I just color switched it off. It's all green, doesn't really matter. Not too much kick up in this shade either. Maybe greens don't have a lot of kick up. Just putting that exactly next to the forest shade. This is super pigmented green. This is amazing. Like, oh sorry, I'm super surprised. These shades are super pigmented and they blend very well with each other. What I'm finding though, nothing to do with the shades, this brush, it's very good for packing but not blending. Maybe it's just me, but I was like trying to blend with it. It's not really working out very well. I need a blending brush, not a packing brush. But I'm just gonna pack my shades first and then I'll focus on blending. So now I'm color switching that off of there, and now I'm going to dip into Key Lime, which is the shade right next to the Tropic shade, this light green shade right here, which is a beautiful light green shade. Of course, same brush, just color switched that off of there. No kick up in this one either. Picked up very nicely, and I'm just putting that in the space that's left. Okay, it's a little bit of a bummer. I was really hoping it to be as pigmented as it is in the pan. Let's see if we can build it though. Maybe I just didn't pick up enough. Okay, it builds up a little bit. I'm not really too worried about it because I am going to pack on the green sparkly shade, which is called Tahiti Green. I am going to put that on top of, you know, the Tahiti Green. I mean, the Key Lime Green that I'm putting down right now. So I'm not really worried too much about this being not too pigmented. I just wish that it was the same shade that it is in the palette. Oh, and I'm getting fallout on my face. I'm just gonna dip into Key Lime, which was that light shade that we used, and I'm just gonna lightly dip into it, and I'm gonna use that to like blend everything together. So I'm just doing like small circular motions and blending these shades in the crease just to help them blend together. These two green shades blended out amazingly with each other. Like, it looks really seamless and I barely did anything. Now I'm going to switch back to the JS6 packing brush that we used, and I'm going to dip back into Forest and just add it back here. And I'm going back and forth motions also, so I'm blending it as I'm packing it. Okay, now I'm going to dip into Tropics, which was the shade that we used in the middle, and I'm going to pack that back right there. I just want it to be really pigmented. I want you to be able to tell that there's 3 different greens here, so that's why I'm going back in and packing it. BPerfect Cosmetics recommends that you do this if you want your like pigments to really show, because their formula is just so amazing to where you can do that. You can go back and put the shades there to make them more pigmented, and it'll, you know, show, it'll stay. And then that's that. That's pretty good. All right. Now, I'm gonna get a little bit ballsy here because I do want it a little bit more deep in like the outer V crease area. So you guys already know what I'm about to do. And if you don't, you're about to gasp. I'm gonna dip into the black. Yeah, I know. Pray for me, please, because this is possible that I can mess it up. So it's called Black Beach, and it's just the black color. I'm gonna lightly tap into it with my M222 Morphe brush. It's just a pencil brush from the Pride collection, lightly tapping into it. And I'm going to stamp it on the outer V. And I'm just gonna add a little bit at a time until it looks like that's good. And then I'm going to flick it in my crease because I want it to look a little, I want more depth. That's the right word, I think. Yeah, and now I'm dipping into Force, which is the dark green shade, and putting it exactly where I put the black and flicking it like I said. It would have been nice if there was like a darker green and then I wouldn't have had to use black. But nonetheless, you know, I'm going to switch to a JH37 to blend the black and the Forest shade together. Alright, that looks pretty good in my opinion. I don't know if you can tell, but like the black kind of just stuck there. Didn't really blend out too well. But it did a little something. It just didn't really, I don't know how to explain it. It didn't really do much. Like it did deepen up where it is sitting, but if you look closely, like it just, the black is just there. Didn't really blend out too well. Could be user error though, so I'm not really too worried about that. But moving on, now I want to use Tahiti Green, which is the sparkly green shade right here. Since, you know, I have my finger stubs, I can use it with my finger. I call my fingers finger stubs when I don't have nails on because that's exactly what they are, because I have a really bad habit of biting my nails. So I'm going to go in with Tahiti Green. Whoa, that is sick. Sickening. I'm gonna go in with my finger and see, you know, just put it right there where key lime is. Yeah, that's really pretty. And this shade is really buildable because I just dipped in it twice and it looks super pretty. Yeah, that is so pretty. So I'm going to do the other eye and then I'll come right back. Alright guys, so I went ahead and did my full face off camera, and I also added the lashes, which these are the Love Tahiti lashes, I'm guessing. Or it says Tahiti lash. These lashes are super dramatic. I really love them though because they're so crazy. Please keep in mind that I just recently learned how to put lashes on, so they're not going to be perfect. I think that this eye looks like it's supposed to, but this one was giving me a little bit of trouble. So this one's not on there perfectly, but I don't really care as long as they're on there so that you guys can see what they look like. But I do love them. They are really dramatic, like super high lashes. Like if I rest my face, you can't even see the eye look. But like I always talk with my eyebrows like really high, so you can still see the look if I like, you know, close my eyes. But anyway, let's move on. We're gonna do the tight line now. So I am going to go in with Tropics, which was the shade we used in the middle. And I'm just taking that on a teeny tiny pencil brush, and this whole entire look I didn't even use the mirror, so we're gonna use that now in the tight line. Whoa, I forgot how pigmented this was already. I really do like this vanilla shade right here, and I don't know if I've used it yet. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and use vanilla in the inner corner. So I'm gonna take the same pencil brush, but I'm just color switching it. This is like, I forgot to mention, but the Tropics color that we used to tightline is like the perfect green shade for like, it reminds me of Christmas. So like if you're gonna do a Christmas inspired look, Tropics is a good green. So I'm just putting vanilla in the inner corner. Ooh, super, super pigmented. That's pretty. I really do love this look. There's something about greens that I'm like obsessed with greens lately. I have no idea why. But now we are done with the eyeshadow palette. So we're gonna move on to the highlight and the lips. All right, so I do have all 4 of their highlighters. I have no idea which one I wanna use. I also saw their recent story, which they suggest using it with a damp beauty blender. So I do have my sponge here wet. This is the Juno and Covelic sponge, favorite sponge. I think I want to use this one. This is the Hologlaze. It's freaking stunning. It's pink, but it's purple, but it's magenta. I don't even know. And then it looks kind of orange. It's so hard to see what the shade is. So I'm gonna use it, and I am going to use the beauty blender. This isn't a beauty blender. I'm gonna use my sponge to see if, you know, it'll work like that. I don't see anything. Let's try again. Okay, it's subtle. It's subtle. I did already use this with my finger, and it's pretty crazy when you use your finger. I'm just gonna use my finger. I ain't got time to play around with that. Like, look at how freaking sickening that is. Oh my goodness. It's so pretty. Like, do you guys see that? I'm just gonna kind of try to blend that out a little bit. Looked a little crazy, but whoa, baby. That is insane. I think that Teresa is Dead would love these highlighters, because she always says, like, if you watch her then you know that she likes to look like an alien slut. I think those are the words that she uses. This will definitely get her to where she wants to be. Look. Oh my goodness. These probably have to be my favorite thing out of the whole entire collection, is the highlighters. Oh my lord. I wish you guys can see it in person, because it's different in person than it is on camera. The camera's making it show up and it looks pretty, but it's just not making it look as sickening as it is in person. Now let's move on to the lip products. Of course, I have all of the lipsticks or lip glosses, because I did buy the whole collection. For this look though, I think we're gonna have to do the nude one, because it's a green look and the other shades are not going to look very good with this. So we're gonna use the nude one, which is Starkers. Oh, this looks kind of like my skin color. This might not look good. Honestly, I don't really like their lip glosses. This is Starkers. Not bad. I mean, it's kind of like my skin tone, so it doesn't really show up too much. But honestly, the other colors just wouldn't look good because they're colorful shades and they wouldn't match. So I think that's everything in the collection. Pretty sure that that's everything. Highlighter, gloss, palette, main thing. So yeah. All right, everybody, well, here's the final look. Definitely let me know down below what you think. I love these green shades. I do love the way the look came out. It looks really pretty to me. Like, I love greens. I'm just really obsessed with greens. I do love them. I probably would prefer this look without the lashes though, because the lashes are a little crazy and I can't really see the look, and I want to be able to see the look. I'm looking at myself in my mirror and that's why I keep looking down, and I do love the look. It does look really pretty. The lashes are absolutely gorgeous, but I just, with my eye shape, since I have like slightly hooded eyes, you can't exactly see the eye look with these lashes on. So I would prefer to not wear the lashes with this look. I mean, maybe with like a nude look, I would do the lashes because who cares about nudes, you know? But nonetheless, I like the look and I do like the lashes, so I'm happy about that. Let's talk about everything in the collection one by one. So first, let's talk about the palette because that is the main guy here. That's what everybody wants to know about. Huge mirror, love the mirror. It's amazing. It's a necessity. I like the fact that I can fold the palette all the way around and just have it like this so that I can use the shades. It's easy when I'm doing like tutorials. I can show you guys like the shades, so that works. Let's talk about the shades that I used and then we'll talk about the other shades that I tried to use before. So the greens, every single one of these greens performs beautifully. Chef's kiss, amazing. Yes, love every single one of these greens. Absolutely gorgeous. The ones that I used, because I didn't use this one, this poop green shade. But Key Lime was probably the only one that disappointed me a little bit because look at the shade in the palette. This is what I wanted on my lids, and underneath, you know, Tahiti green, this was not this shade. It was like super muted. It wasn't this. I was expecting this and I didn't get that, so I was a little disappointed in that, but it's okay. This is probably a good blending shade, like use it to blend out your other greens, because that's what I did do like off camera and it worked perfectly fine. It just didn't show up this shade on my lid, so I was disappointed in that. But the forest green shade laid down amazing, blended out amazing with Tropics. Tropics is my favorite green shade in this whole entire palette. Any palette that I have, this is my favorite green shade. It's so pigmented. It looks exactly like on the lid that it does in the pan, so it's amazing, and it laid down nicely, super opaque, and it blended out really nicely with the forest shade, so didn't give me any problems. There was only a teeny bit of kick up in these shades, not a lot at all, so I'm very happy with the green shades that I used. Now moving on to this side of the palette that I tried filming this video 3 times already, other than this one. This is the 4th time, but these purple shades, okay. I think that these purple shades were kind of pressed a little too hard because I'm not the only person that has questioned these shades, because if you've used the first Carnival palette, you pick up pigment really nicely on your brush. Like I said with the green shades, they picked up amazingly. I didn't have a problem. But over here, the shades Blackberry, this shade, and the shade Grape, which is this guy right here, I just had to really like dig my brush or really tap my brush into it to get any pigment on my brush. It's not really that much of a big deal because it does build up, so it didn't really matter that much, but being that those were the first shades that I used in the palette, I was like, oh my gosh, I hope the other shades aren't like that. So it kind of put me off a little bit of the palette when I started with those shades. But now that I've used the greens and I've realized that that's probably just these shades, I'm not really worried about it. It's not really a big deal because you can build the shades up and they are super pigmented. You just have to build them up. But Blackberry and Grape, especially Grape, has like a super dent in it already because I had to really tap into this shade, and because I've already tried filming 3 times with the purples, so having to really like tap into the shades and having tried filming 3 times, there's like a huge dent in it already, so I can already see myself panning that one pretty soon. But other than that, the shades were really good. I did have to wet my brush for Amethyst, which was this purple shade, because it just didn't pop up the way that I like my shimmers to show. I didn't wet my brush to use Tahiti green. I used my finger, as you saw, and it was super pigmented. Oh, on this side, I did use my brush and it built it up. Like, as you can see on here, where I use my finger. It's not as vibrant on this side where I used my brush, so maybe wet your brush. And I do believe I remember somebody on BPerfect Cosmetics story saying to wet your brush with these shimmers, which I find strange because in the first Carnival palette I didn't have to wet my brush for any of the shimmers. So I don't know, maybe they used a different formula for these, but nonetheless I can't really review the whole palette because I didn't use the whole palette. I still need to use the blues and the middle palette because, like I said, I already used the purples. I didn't use all of the pinks. I think I only used one of the pinks, which was the magenta shade, so it's kind of like a purplish pink. So I still have like this whole area to use, so I can't review the palette completely, but I'm just speaking on the shades that I've already used and the little troubles that I had with the purples. But then again, purples I've heard are hard to formulate anyway. So I'm not being too judgmental. Hopefully you're not taking it that way because I'm not trying to. I'm just saying that you have to work a little bit harder with the purples. Moving on, let me just talk about the mirror real quick because it's just a mirror. This mirror is my favorite mirror that I've ever had, my handheld mirror. I have 2 other Jeffree Star mirrors and they are really nice. I do like them, but this one is ridiculously big to where I can see my whole entire face in this mirror. And I don't have to move the mirror to be able to see, if that makes any sense, because like Jeffree Stars are in the shape of a star, so you can't exactly see your whole face unless you put it, you know, far away. But this guy is huge. Like, this is an amazing mirror and I do love it. So I am glad that I got the whole collection so that I also got this mirror because it is a really nice mirror. I can't really say that much about a mirror except for that it's good. Moving on to the highlighters. So I did swatch all of them as you saw in the beginning of the video. And I did use Hologlaze, which you also saw. It's really amazing. Like, these are so good. They are called the Get Wet, you know, highlighters, and they do make you look like you're wet. So I really like them, and I think that the colors are really unique. Like, this Hologlaze color is so unique because it's purple, but you can see pink, or it's pink but there's purple reflex, and it looks orange on the pan. It's so crazy unique that I love them, and I'm really glad that I got the whole collection so that I have all of them. Because originally I was just gonna get the palette and one highlighter, but there was issues with the site, so like FOMO kicked in and I was just like, I'm just gonna get the whole collection. Like, I don't even care. That's me clicking on the whole collection. But moving on to the lip products. So I like this shade that I currently have on my mouth, which is the Starker's Nude shade, but I don't necessarily like these glosses, and the reason is that because I've already tried using this one in like on my own, which is Girl Code. I don't like the applicator. Maybe it's the component. Not a lot of product gets on the stick here, whatever these things are called, the applicator. So you have to continuously dip in here to get enough product on your mouth to like cover, you know, your lips. And then the shades aren't super opaque, so you do have to go over them a couple of times to get your desired opacity. So that's just how I feel about these guys. I have all of them, so I mean, I'm gonna use them, I think, maybe. I don't know, there's some crazy colors in here that I probably would never use, so this one's probably gonna get the most use because it's a nude shade, and it's like my true nude shade. It's a little pinky, but I love it. So this shade's definitely gonna get more use than the other ones, but I do like the fact that I own all of them, so I'm not really too disappointed in that fact because I own the whole collection. But again, like I said, I don't really like the component or the applicator because not a lot of product comes off on the applicator, so you have to continuously dip in, and I've never had to do that with any of my lip products, and I have a ton of lip products. So yeah, there's that. But I think that that's everything in the collection. I talked about everything, I believe. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully, you know, my thoughts and my opinions on the collection kind of helped you out. If it did, great. If it didn't, I'm so sorry. I thought that I touched on everything. So if you have any questions or you want to see any other shades used, then definitely let me know down below, because I do want to film more videos with this palette. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Hopefully it was helpful in some sort of way. Definitely comment down below anything and everything really, but I appreciate every single one of you guys for watching this video. Please make sure that you like it if you enjoyed it or if it helped you. Also subscribe if you have not already, and hit the bell icon so that you're notified every time my videos go live so that you never miss anything. But I'll see you guys next time with another one. Bye!